Welcome to the Meet the Team podcast. I'm Brady Jolly, and I'm with my good buddy, our COO, Scott Sharrock. Welcome, man.
Yeah, it feels good to be here.
Long time coming.
Yeah, excited, man. Just got out of all-company training, a lot of good energy, so you might see a little sweat, but happy to be here.
Tell us about what was the training on?
Today's focus, we were actually celebrating 7 months in a row we hit our budget. So there was a lot of great energy. We talked about personal wins, really the company wins that we've seen over the past 7 months. And then we moved into a couple opportunities. So one was more 5-star reviews, but the main focus was how we're going to turn around our Jolly Home plans, how we're going to provide better service to our customers, how we're going to make sure we're onboarding more so other customers can experience our good service.
7-month heater, 7 months in a row.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. What do you think it's about? What's made that happen?
Yeah, a lot of times we use the analogy of college football. I'm a big sports guy, so most of the times in college football you can't lose many games. So I look at our season as 12 games. Right now we're 7-0, so there's still a lot of work to be done. Things are well, but just like sports, we're hitting the film. We're skill practicing. We're working on opportunities. There's a lot to be grateful for. Right now we're growing by almost 40%. So it's a lot to be happy. A lot of great things. Our employees are crushing it. Our culture's at an all-time high. It's moving fast, but winning's fun and it's contagious. One of our core values is win the day. And we're really starting to hone into that and feel that energy.
Love it, man. You got the flywheel spinning. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This year's been great. We've had years that haven't been this fun. So this is good.
100%. You got to celebrate them. So
we're riding the wave right now. So let's backpedal. Usually we start with personal stuff. So just tell me about the family, what you like to do for fun, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so married. My wife's name is Christmas, so that's always fun. Her actual middle name's Angel, too, so Christmas Angel. So I got my own Christmas Angel, which is awesome. We have 3 beautiful kids, Sage, Eli, and Braxton. So it's 5, 4, and 2. Absolute blessing, but also lots of suffering. I always say that's most things that come with great blessing is great suffering. But I really love it. It's been it's really fun. So we recently just moved about half a mile from my mom, and my mother-in-law lives with us. So it's really been good for us with the kids. We got tons of help, lots of family time. Our oldest starts kindergarten in 2 weeks. So that's really good.
It's cool, man.
My hair was already gone, so you can't really see too much physically from it, but it's a lot. I love it.
Awesome, man. Cool. All right, give me your whole journey in the trades. Is a unique one and a really cool story.
Yeah.
Just tell the story from the top.
Man, there's a lot there. So there's a lot of layers. From the top, I will say kind of Brady and I both went to NKU, Norsup. We had really didn't connect in college. So we had a very close friendship, but I was a couple years older. So it was right about the time I had just graduated. My college roommate, his name was Ethan, moved in with Brady. So he was able to make that connection. And I was finishing school. I was working at Jeff Ruby's The Precinct as just a server assistant. I knew I didn't want to be in the restaurant industry for my career. We were actually playing poker at your house. It was a good time, right? And we were just talking about like sales, and I was mentioning a little bit about just how I'm looking to make a career change. So make a long story short, lots of conversations. Brady brought me in, and I was like, all right, I want to work for these people, the Jollies. And at the time, I didn't know the name. I didn't know you, and it was the best decision I ever made. So I come in, and I'm just overkill. I'm in a shirt and tie for an interview. At the time, we were a lot of commercial, and I just came in and just said, hey, whatever I need to do, I'm going to do it.
You were the first ever guy to interview with a shirt and tie in the history of the company.
Yeah, that's nice. Not only was I interviewing, I was the kind of guy that didn't know any better. So I was showing up to these commercial industrial places in a shirt and tie, just rolling in and saying, how can we help you? And actually, it's interesting. We've changed from our model is really serving residential customers away from commercial, but definitely started in commercial, and that was my first role in the industry was commercial sales. So went through mostly like industrial road, made a lot of connections there. It was really cool and seeing the growth. When I first came in, we had about a 500 square foot office with pink countertops. Correct me if I'm wrong, they may have came out of the dumpster. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. It was stated, but it was possible. And there wasn't even room for me at the desk. We were just, small, really small mom and pop company. And I would roll up to the corner of this pink countertop, and that was my desk. Just both open up a laptop, pull up an Excel document, and just get after it. But really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that for me was like, like you said, me and you had kind of just met.
Yeah.
And it was like, I knew I wanted to build this company and grow it. Had no idea what that looked like, but I knew like, I got to find a guy that's like my guy, like my
Yeah.
right-hand man who's going to like be there along my side and help me grow this thing. And like, it was beyond my wildest dreams what happened from there.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
when you came in there as a commercial sales guy, I never would have dreamed that we'd be sitting in this room, 13 years later, you running the company, 7 months in a row budget, all-time high records left and right in a 27,000 square foot building, with all the momentum and all the wind at our back. It's been a fun ride, man. But
100%.
the cool part is it feels like it's just starting. It feels like we've been doing this together for almost 12, 13 years.
Yep.
And it feels still like a little bit of a startup. Like it feels new. It feels like we're just at the beginning. I think that's a cool feeling because, if you'd have told me that, I would have thought by this time we'd have just had everything figured out and we just would have been maxed out of where we were. And it feels like the sky's the limit, man. Like, I feel like we're going to 10X this thing again, like we already have once. So after the commercial sales job, what happened then?
Yeah, so moved in through, we really started kind of changing the evolution of who was Jolly and who were we going to serve. So we kind of reinvented our wheel. We kind of did some mission, vision, values work a little bit for the first time, really focused on branding and who Jolly was. So once we started focusing on residential, mostly I removed from sales. I spent a lot of time with sewer install, spent a lot of time with dispatch, call center. And then we joined Nexstar. Once we joined Nexstar, we could kind of learn these operational processes and we could really focus on this is where you need to spend your time versus kind of guesswork. Like we were, right morals, high effort. So like work as hard as you possibly could, say yes to everything. And there's a special thing about that and there's success that can come with that. But in a lot of ways we were, spinning our wheels.
And we were a burnout factory. I mean,
100%.
You're being humble, but I mean, at one point you had 25 direct reports. You were managing every single department. You were only manager. You were answering the calls. You were doing the call center. You were doing dispatch. It just morphed into that because of your leadership and your ability to just roll your sleeves up and dive in. That was really cool, and we were able to be crazy efficient and effective and do stuff, but unsustainable. There was no chance we were going to grow a business that way.
Yeah.
You were being a superhero every single day to run the business.
Yeah.
But talk about that experience and when you were just in the chaos zone, what did that teach you?
Sure.
How did that teach you to do your job now?
Yeah, so we had just rapid growth, and scaling from the business, 2 to 4 to 6 to 10 to 15, 15 to 30, 30 to 60, all the way up to 100. There's just evolutions of leadership. There's evolutions of key cadences, so like one-on-ones, ride-alongs, trainings, and what I found through doing the wrong things was, if you have 25 direct reports, you're actually not serving your people. It's a cadence that you're just doing to do it to say that you've done it. So I had 25 one-to-ones, but they weren't 25 quality one-to-ones. My people weren't getting what they needed, and nor was I able to do my job appropriately because it was too much, right? So you're stretched so thin, a lot of things fall through the gap. So what that's taught me is really we have a strong leadership team. Most of our teams range between 6 to 12 people. And we're really intentional about that. And one of the things I coach our leadership team on is you cannot outwork your team, period. Like your team is the success of your department. And what I mean by that is it's always one manager. They can't make up for the behaviors and actions of 12 other people's. They can't be with every customer interaction. So their focus has to be on development inside of that 3 things I talked about. Their weekly trainings need to be exceptional. We need to be teaching them new skills. We need to be skill practicing those. Their one-on-ones need to be exceptional. We need to be really figuring out what's going well for the employees. How can we better serve them as leaders? How can we make sure that they're hitting their goals or their career path? And then ride-alongs, our leaders really need to do these ride-alongs. And what that is, that's a bridge between one-on-ones and training. And I like to say it's the true form of accountability. Is what we're training and talking about one-on-ones actually happening? And most of the time it is, but there's definitely times it's hard, when you're doing an all-company training, like we just had one. It's hard for me to know how that went when you're doing it, right? It's the same thing for our technicians. If they're at a customer's house with a busted water heater, it's super hard to really know what they've done extremely well and what they've missed until they've either done some self-reflection with like a curbside feedback form or that leader's with them. So I would say the thing that I learned most was definitely scaling leadership is a key part to growth. Not only for performance, it does help with performance, but it's a better employee experience. And we've seen where we always had the highest employee experience numbers. And last year we had the highest ever. We were 90 out of 100. And I think a lot of that has to be having a strong leadership team that has the ability to serve a lot of our frontline employees.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We last year, quite honestly, we do the employee engagement survey every month. Or every year. I was nervous that employee engagement survey was going to come back worse than the year before because we've been increasing accountability, increasing the intensity, the coaching, the training, the one-to-ones. There's so many touch points with employees now. Like, part of me was thinking, like, man, do people like this? Is this going to scare people off? Is our engagement survey going to be down? Are we wearing people out? And it was amazing to see the increased engagement survey, 90% engagement score, highest we've ever had by 8 points. And a lot of that was a testament to you and the coaching and communication rhythms. You mentioned one-to-ones several times in what you were just saying. Tell us about one-to-ones, the importance of them, how we've implemented them, what that looks like for employees, what we try to get out of those, what's the importance of a one-to-one.
So everyone in the entire company has a one-on-one. Now, the duration and the level of it does depending on what position they're in. So, like, our apprentices one-on-one maybe 15 minutes, but they're still going to have it weekly. Our frontline, leader in the field for HVAC or plumbing, they maybe have a 30-minute. And then our senior leaders, their one-on-one may be an hour. So really how we do one-on-ones is it is the person who's joining it. It's their one-on-one. And what I mean by that, if I go to your and I one-on-one, you're facilitating it. It is my one-on-one, but there's a end to that too is your job is to hold me accountable to make sure that you're getting the most out of me and make sure I'm growing and hitting my goals. So that's what the facilitator of the one-on-one is to make sure that they are holding themselves accountable, that everyone's hitting their goals and their growth plan that they want. And it's not just, here's where you're at, keep doing this. It's more or less, how can I better serve you? How can I make sure that you're growing? How can I make sure that you're happy here? And that ranges 15 minutes to an hour.
I think that's the cool thing that's changed with our one-to-ones. Back in the day when we started, hey, we got to do a one-to-one with everybody. We were doing them, but it was like, hey, here's your numbers for the week or the month or the quarter, and this is where I need to see them, and this is how you need to get it. Yeah. At least, I can speak for myself. My one-to-ones used to be me talking like 90% of the time. Yep. As we've learned and developed, it's like you want the employee talking 90% of the time. You want them coming to the solutions, them coming to the answers. You want to build into them, learn about their personal life, build the relationship, gain the trust. Then you can get a little bit of coaching, because they trust you and they know that you have their back, right? And you've brought that to us, like over the last couple of years. You've brought that new level of leadership to our leaders, our managers. Mm-hmm. I've just seen the juice that we've got from one-to-ones even more than ever. We've been doing one-to-ones now for 6 years, 7 years.
2018 probably.
But we've been doing them effectively just for probably 2 or 3. And it's just made a world of difference. The communication rhythms, I think, is probably one of the most important things we do.
Yes.
Daily huddle, one-to-ones, weekly manager meetings, bi-weekly biz meetings, senior leader, outside quarterly meetings. You just facilitated your training this morning. Every department has a training every week. When people hear that don't have meetings, like my dad said it the other day, he's like, you guys have more meetings in one day than I would have in a year running the company.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's true. And I think if you'd have told us this 13 years ago when you started, we'd have been like, heck no, it's pointless. We can't have all these meetings. We can't just be in meetings all day. But talk about the importance of that and why we do that, why the communication rhythms are so important and the juice that we get out of it.
Yeah, 100%. So I think the first piece is that, we don't meet to meet. We really train our leaders on how to facilitate these things. So I think that's the first point is making sure that your leaders can truly handle the meeting or the one-on-one or the ride-along or the weekly training, daily huddle. So that's the first part is if you're going to do it, it needs to be really well and need to get value from it. So what I notice and what I see is that these cadences hold us accountable from a daily aspect, from a weekly aspect, from a monthly aspect, from a quarterly aspect. So what I say that is every single day we have a daily huddle. One of our core values is win the day. It's know your metrics, own your result. And that's critical. Like, if we don't keep score, we don't know if we're winning or losing. So we wouldn't know we're 7-0 right now. We would just be running. And I can tell you right now, if we weren't keeping score, we would not be 7-0. our record would be a lot less than that. But it's really getting in there and saying, hey, what are the behaviors and actions that we're going to do today? These are the commitments that we set. What are we going to do for our team? How are we going to support our team? How are we going to align the schedule? How are we going to align for our customers to make sure everybody wins? And then that ties into our conversations that day to our dispatch team, to our CSR team, to our technicians. We use a platform called Discord, and that's our all-company communication. So what messages are we sending there? What's our essentially what's our goal for today?
So you're talking very specifically right now about the daily huddle.
Yep.
I just want to dive into that because I think it may be the most important one-to-one's daily huddle or some of the most important meetings we do. Give us a high-level overview of what a daily huddle is and why it's important to the company.
So daily cadence, every single day. We don't miss it. It's at 9 a.m. It goes from 9 a.m. to 9:30. So we spend about 10 minutes on yesterday's results. And what that means is we come in, we say, here's what our key wins were, here's what the key misses, here's what I'm going to do about it. Most of the focus is today's commitments. Here's the number of calls that I have, here's the number of ops, here's my staffing plan, here's the manager that I've asked to have help, or flex apprentice, or flex a crew leader. This is how we're going to actually hit our day. So the daily huddle matches from our, we call it the PACE report. And what that's showing us, that's our ultimate scorecard of where are you pacing for the month in every single department. So plumbing service, HVAC service, drain, sewer install, HVAC install. And every department's broken out, and we can see exactly what our wins are for the month and the day and where we're pacing for that month. So we have all control. We coach on, you are in control. Like it's very simple. You might not like the answer, but you are in control of what to do to hit that budget. Does that help? Is that clear enough?
100%. It's perfect. And again, we've done a daily huddle now for probably 6 years. Yeah. I think the last 3 or 4 years we've got good at it. Mm-hmm. And it's just been light years different. And it's to your point, I don't think we'd be 7-0. We wouldn't be having the year we have without a daily huddle. I know we wouldn't. For sure. All this that we've talked about is very operational. It's how we get performance out of our team. Mm-hmm. It's incredible stuff. It's why we're having so much success. I think a lot of companies do that, and they do that well, and then they miss the connection for what that means to the customer and what that means for, we wouldn't be in this business. We wouldn't be as successful as we are as a company without our customers, the reputation we've built, giving exceptional customer service, being here to serve for our customers, reimagining the service that they get. What does that operational cadence and making sure the team's aligned and continue to be profitable and grow, what's that mean for our customers at the end of the day?
It's great. So one of the things that I coach and train on is your revenue, so your goals, whatever your revenue is a mirror of your customer interactions. It's 100% direct correlation. So if you're growing, you're providing that customer service that you should be. You're converting more calls. You're having a better experience during the Explore step. So how we coach and train is it's all customer first. We coach a 6-step training process. And what that looks like is really to provide the best customer experience so that they are getting the solutions that they want versus just us coming in and saying this is what we recommend. We absolutely will give your expert opinion, but we want to make sure that the solutions match the customer's wants and needs. And what I would offer is with this growth is because our customer experience is elevated. One of the things we just celebrated today is we had 7 5-star reviews yesterday, which is really awesome to see, and we're trying to grow that. So we match that too. Everything comes from the customer experience. We have a lot of our core values that match that. Here to serve. Don't hesitate to educate. Be the name, which is being jolly, showing up in uniform, taking care of our customers first. And if you don't do those things, you won't win the day.
Yep, totally agree, man. So like even sitting here talking to you, you can see it. People can see your passion for the industry, for what you do. You're the guy walking around hooting and hollering, high-fiving, chest-bumping people. You and Russell wrestling and just getting after it, having a blast, smile on your face, hooting and hollering. Like, you're the ultimate optimist around here. Your energy resonates with everybody. Where do you get that from? Where do you draw that passion from? Like, why do you care so much about what you do? And then, like, how do you come to work every single day with that energy? Because it's what makes you. What makes you one of the things that makes you just unbelievable leader, and a person that's like taken our company to the complete new level. So just talk about like where you get that from.
That's a great question. In full transparency, I don't know where it all comes from. But, just high energy. I've kind of always been this way. I will say, a lot of my, personal beliefs and desire is spiritual. So I just have a lot of things to be grateful for. And I think the more that you spend in gratitude, the easier it is to come in with happy and, you're ready to go and it's a new day. There's definitely times I have to check myself and say, dude, what's going on? Like, why are you down? And most of the time it's because I'm not spending time with gratitude. So we coach a lot of our guys, 5-5-20, but it's really, what's 5 gratitudes today? What are you thankful for? What's 5 goals that you're going to do? I don't do that every day. I'd be sitting here telling you, I don't do it every day. But when I'm not feeling like myself, I do it. I need to figure out, okay, what am I grateful for? And then what am I going to do to win the day? And that really brings, self-confidence up, energy up. And it's like I was saying earlier, it's fun winning. Like, it's a lot easier to be high energy when we're winning. But that's kind of not a great answer, but where I'm at with it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that you possess that's rare and hard to duplicate and makes you so good at your job, we've joked about this before, like somebody could walk in your office and say, hey, the building's on fire, like it's going to burn down in like 1 minute, and you're just like, okay, let's find a solution.
Yeah.
It's like immediate, no matter how big or small the problem, you go, no emotional response, you go immediate to finding solutions. And that offers for the whole company, that trickles down to everybody. Like, I've seen that change in the managers, especially over the last couple of years, where there used to be this emotional response with a lot of our employees. And now it's just like, all right, we're dealing with a problem. Let's go figure it out. Customers upset. Let's figure it out. Employees upset. Let's figure it out. We just had a whole job go completely wrong. Let's figure it out. Talk about that mindset and the importance of that when you're running an organization of this size like you are.
Yeah, so I think you have to be solution-oriented. And one of the things that we do, we were talking about cadences before, but we have an Ops L10. We actually encourage our leadership to identify issues. Bring the issues, and that's a good thing because now you're going to find a solution for them. And we constantly are coaching on that. So we do a leadership pipeline for our leaders. So we're actually ranking them on their leadership skills, and emotional intelligence is one. And that's because it's so critical that when you are in the storm, when you are even winning, that are you overreacting? You got to stay humble during your winning. You can celebrate it, and I think that's great. But one of the things I talk all the time: stay humble, stay hungry. Like, win, celebrate it, but tomorrow's a different day. We got to win again. So most of it is identifying what you're doing well, like as far as how you're acting emotionally for the solution, and then what are the issues and how we're going to fix it. So just oversimplify it. Most of the time I see when I'm anxious or I see other people anxious is they haven't sat the time to literally say, this is what I'm going to do about it. It's like, just pause. We have the issue. It's clear. We're going to identify the solution, and you're going to feel better. It may not be perfect. It may not be, easy. But there is a solution out there, and it's back to the things we keep talking about. You'll see constant themes. It's winners work, which is a core value. You are in control. It's owning that and then just pausing for a second, finding the solution. So very simple approach, but it really does help, and it slows you down. And it takes discipline. That's not a natural thing for me. Like, it's something that's taken a lot of discipline to really say, pause, think for a second, and then here's the behavior and actions that we're going to do to fix it.
And so much of that, man, is like as I've watched you develop as a leader, it's your personal. You work on it personally. Like, that's what people don't see behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. You're reading, you're listening to podcasts, you're learning, you're in scripture, you're like trying to build and develop what you want to be as a person and how you want to be and what you want your future to look like. Like, you spend as much time on that as probably anybody that I know. Talk about that. And then even if there's any like books that you've read, anything that's been inspirational to you, like, what would you say?
Yeah.
Are they?
So I'm the firm believer of there's not really work-life balance. Like, I don't think you can separate the two. I think who you are outside of work is who you are inside of work, and a lot of times we trick ourselves. So I don't think there's more. You should spend as most time as you possibly can on developing yourself. 100%. And that's not only going to make you a better employee, that's going to make you a better spouse, that's going to make you a better mother or father. And a healthy you outside of work is a healthy you inside of work. And most of the time, the opposite is true. not always, but unhealthy you outside of work is usually unhealthy or less healthy inside of work. And I do think people can put some specifics, they can separate the two, but I'm big on self-discipline and self-help. I read a lot of books. One of the books that we just covered was really good. It was called The Coaching Habit. And we talked about it for work. So how can we better facilitate better one-on-ones? But that's also developing is, hey, how can you talk to your spouse better? Mm-hmm. How can you lead to your kids with questions to see where they're at before correcting them? So I think of always both, and really as a personal journey, my spiritual beliefs really guide me. I consistently, seek the wisdom of the Scripture and try to match that and align that up with personal growth as well. And it's interesting to see there is an evolution of it. So it's like until you get to a different level, you don't see. You miss a lot, right? So I know I have a lot of misses still personally, but it is cool to grow. It's cool. I think the physical component of it, we work out, we play basketball. I find the best version of myself is the one that's also having some sort of healthy competition, whether it's golf, basketball, also that physical aspect of where, eating healthy and then working out. That ties in just as much as mental and, skills or knowledge as well.
There's nothing like the COO of the company coming in and dominating somebody in hoops, too. Just showing him his boss. The spin move, man. You've got a lot of people with that nasty spin move over the years.
Don't put your arm in there. Could lose it.
You've talked a little bit about mission, vision, and values, or our values especially. What's your favorite value and why?
Great question. For me, it's probably win the day. Because I think that you really have to encompass all the values to do it. Like, for example, is, be the name, here to serve, don't hesitate to educate, winners work. All these things, it's really to win the day. And without doing those, you don't win the day. Our mission is to reimagine how the world experiences home service. And it's something we talk about. We talk about it every single day. And we talk about it in every single daily huddle. We talk about it in every single training. And that's what we're going to do. And we're already starting to see it. But it's definitely, you got to focus on that customer experience. And that comes back to how well you're investing into your team, how well you're training, back to the one-on-ones trainings right along.
So the values and the mission statement, the vision, we just redid that a couple years ago. You're exceptional at talking about that every single day. You mentioned in the daily huddle one-to-ones, you have the managers, the leaders that report to you, talk about it regularly. You post on Discord, the communication channel, regularly about it. We've been to a lot of shops, site visits and everything where some companies have them on the wall, but if you ask anybody in the company what are the mission, vision, and values, they don't even know. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to keep it top of mind for everybody. What do you do specifically in leadership to make sure everybody knows how we operate, why these are our values, what they are, and how they can continue to live them out?
I think like most things, it starts with you. So what I mean by that is like you have to believe in them. You have to know them. And like for me, that is my map. Like my mission, vision, values is my map. This is who we are as a company. This is how we're supposed to behave. And then our KPIs, our budget, this is what we're going to do. Like, and you can only do those things if we execute our mission, vision, values. So the first thing is it's all about you, is owning that, making sure you know it, make sure that you're living it out and you're challenging yourself in every one of those categories. If you are doing that, it's so much easier to correct somebody on it. It's so much easier to have the conversation, or it's so much easier to encourage somebody. Like, hey, dude, look at this person, here to serve. They were able to stay out late for a customer to get taken care of. Or, win the day, this person not only led and, onboarding Jolly home plans, but 5-star reviews and conversion rate and average sale. And it's also extending out to people to recognize their key behaviors. And then I think also with mission, vision, values is once you believe, you need to talk about it and talk about it often. And it touches everything that we do. It's in all of our all companies. It's in every single one-on-one. It's in every weekly training. It's in our daily huddle. All of our sheets are branded. And that branded is more about it's really about seeing. It's the presence, it's the awareness. It's got to be aware. And I think a lot of companies do that, right? They make it, they set their mission, vision, values, and they want it to be aware. But where it becomes really special is when you start acting on it and you see the company start acting on it and you personally like I start acting on it. That's what makes it special.
It's great, man.
I think we got that really dialed in.
Yep, me too. So there's a couple questions I ask everybody on the podcast. You spend a lot of time in the field. Over the years, you've spent a lot of time in the field, ride-alongs. You were even on some sewer crews back in the day a little bit. When you're out there, crawl space, you're in a crawl space. What is the last thing that you want to see in a crawl space, and why?
Man, I'm not a snake guy. I'm anti-snake. So I don't want to see a snake in there.
All right.
Critters, but really any critter in there is going to scare me. I don't want to be in.
You're not.
Like
You're not the crawl. Usually we get the little guys in the crawl spaces.
Yeah.
So luckily for you, you haven't.
There's not many of them I can fit in. You know, it's like it's a blessing. You like. It's nice.
All right. What about stories? Any stories that have happened? I mean, I know we have a million, but anything that comes to mind? Crazy, wild, entertaining, fun, funny, cool. Any story that comes to mind in your years here?
Oh man. There's a million of them. The one that just comes to mind now, I just visually picked it. We used to have do a lot of septic work, and we would pump grease traps. And we still do a lot of work with this. So we do sewer line install, we do jetting, a lot of things there. But we had our pump truck out there, and there was a guy that was at a food distributor. And grease is the absolute worst. Like this is a grease trap, and it's just filthy, the smell. And he fell into the grease trap, so he got out. Yeah,
our boy Cotton.
So you hate to see it, but glad he's safe. But absolutely just filthy. Like
there's a picture out there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a picture out there. But there's plenty of great stories, and it's fun to do what we do.
Well, listen, man. Seriously, if I could pick anybody in the whole country, in the whole world to run our company, it'd be you. Like I've been to tons and tons of member shops of Nexstar and other companies that do exactly what we do, and I've never seen anybody at your level. It is an honor to serve alongside of you. It's cool because I'm the owner of the company. You technically report to me, but I learn probably more from you than you do from me. You teach me stuff every day. You know, I look up to you as a leader. And that's like, for me to be able to serve alongside of you to grow this business, seriously, you'd be the number one person in the world that I'd pick to do it. And doing it alongside my best friend is just like, I'm living out my dream, man. So can't thank you enough for what you mean to this. I know we're just getting started.
Yeah.
We're going to make an impact, man. People, customers, employees, the impact that we've already made is huge, and it's going to get even better. So just pleasure serving along you, man. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for being here.
I appreciate it. It's only just begun.
Yep.
Reimagine.
Yep.